Starting to the bottom right of the map, the Terran play in a 1-0 lead for the Prime team. We have
Byun Prime.
Byun with a really strong performance in game number 1. To the top left of the map, we have his opponent in blue for SKT1.
SK Telecom T1, Rain.
I would love to see him switch it up and do that Blink Stalker on we've seen so many times on this map.
Oh yeah, it's so strong here. It's really great.
It could really throw Byun off as well. Byun is such a great player in the late game. I almost feel personally Byun is one of the best players when it comes to dealing with those timings and just hitting before 3-3 finishes, or if it does finish, he just wears the Protoss army down so many times that even if he's down on upgrades, it just feels like his army is so much better all the time.
Yeah, timings that we've seen from Korea in the past. I actually think you've just solved the puzzle. The reason why the rest of the Prime players are a little bit lackluster these days is because Byun just sucked in all their skill.
Yeah, it starts to seem like that.
We have the macro of Marine King from the past, we have the timings of Creator, they are just all clumped up in Byun.
Byun is going for gas here again. Could be another Reaper scout, but he could be going for a more aggressive timing. Either way, he's scouted once more by Rain, who goes for a careful scout. Whenever it's a two-player map like this, you can always gateway scout and still get in and see everything, unless there's a crazy wall or something like that.
Yeah.
He's even going to harass here a little bit and try to slow down the Reaper.
And he kind of screwed up a little bit. He did not stop with the probe. He's just stealing the minerals now and heading back. But the Reaper is, of course, going to reveal what's going on in the base to the top left. Rain here will be scouted by the SCV first, though.
It looks like we're just going to have a Mothership core expand. Although, you know what? He only has one gas here. He did not take the second gas, so this is a little bit strange. Could just be a Nexus into 4 gateway pressure. That's what oh, the eBay block, though. Beautiful.
This is so annoying.
He might even change his entire strategy as a result. He doesn't even spend time with that probe.
And he started with a Zealot, so this is so annoying to take down this SCV if there's not a Stalker at the beginning. That is horrible here for Rain. The SCV can just now play Ring Around the Rosie, making sure that he gets a few additional hit points up on the engineering bay.
Yep, and the Reaper can kind of come in here now that he knows the Stalker's going to come down.
Every second counts here. Any second that you can delay your opponent's expansion is good for you.
Trying to be annoying with that Reaper, the Stalker having to shoot at it means that the Stalker's not shooting at the eBay. This is so well done by Byun, and yeah. Rain, he wanted to go for that same build with the Zealot pressure. The Zealot helps him, but his build is now made a little bit more strange.
Yes, the cancel on the engineering bay, we have the Nexus a little bit delayed, and that already messes with the timings of Rain. This is kind of the opening that you want against the strong Protoss player as a Terran. The bunker at the front just to be on the safe side. A lot of Protoss players feel compelled to attack as soon as they see something like this, and we've seen Rain being aggressive in so many games in the past against Terran already. So Byun just taking all the precautions that he can.
Look at this color, it's that really fast +1 build we've seen from Byun before. And he's facing the exact same build from Rain as he saw in Game 1. Confirms the Nexus is there with the Reaper. Not taking any chances here, does not want to fall to 4 gateway pressure off of one base, which, you know, when you get eBay blocked, a lot of Protoss will just go for that.
Yeah, and you can do so much aggression with this too. Once that you have the +1 attack upgrade and the Marines out there, just sending a small force across the map and seeing if you can actually punish your opponent.
The other thing is true here is that, yeah, you saw the eBay block, but since he didn't get into the main base just yet, he needs to send this Reaper in here because it could just be a Blink Stalker push. He has no idea what gas were taken. Now he confirms everything. He sees that the robotics is there, he sees the 2 gateways, knows there's no 4 gateway pressure. Probably even going to save the Reaper. Going to be close.
And guys, I mean, I mentioned this in the past, but now that we are in the 3rd round of Code A and with Rain actually being down a game, Byun in the lead, I want to point it out again. Byun is one of those Terran players from Korea that streams a lot. And if you want to check out his stream, then go to twitch.tv. I actually think that his account is twitch.tv/ByunPrime.
Yeah.
But in any case, just check it out and subscribe to his channel. He's streaming a lot and it is just so helpful. He's streaming on the NA server, on the Korean server. And it's really cool to see him play, and his reaction time, his strategies, and also these small things that he will do when he streams is pretty impressive. So if you want to see a master tactician in play in person, then definitely check out his personal stream when he's playing outside of tournaments like this.
Yeah, it's definitely something I recommend as well. He's somebody that you can watch and study his play quite a bit with.
And there are not this many Korean players that will really stream on a regular basis, so his stream is definitely worth adding.
Yeah, Prime players really love that streaming, you know, type of model for their team. And well, here comes the Reaper again. And will he see the Bay? No, I don't think he'll see it. But oh, even with the probes, he sees it. Unbelievable.
Wow. That was pretty cool that Rain was trying to stop it with the probe, but only with one. He should have used a few more, that he would have been able to pull that off. But now, once that the tech was revealed, he's heading straight into the double forge.
I like that. Now he's just going to take a third base instead, whereas Byun's going to have to play a little bit defensively and may even start Vikings faster than he wants to, which will keep his medevac count down a little bit lower, which also hurts his drop play.
And now we have, of course, Stim halfway done. Armor upgrade on the way, as is the combat shield. Rain, on the other hand, both of them, by the way, at the same supply. Rain to the top left will now start to utilize the double forge that he has. He didn't do anything with the robotic spade. Yeah. Nothing at all. He's saving his gas for his forges for now. Prioritizing the upgrades over the range upgrade for the Colossus.
Exactly. And Byun destroys the rocks here. He shows all of this to the observer, and he had to realize there was an observer watching him. Now he's going to move out and hit this aggressive timing with stem and combat shields and +1. And +1 armor will finish during this aggression. He's also going to boost those medevacs across the map. He's pulled some SCVs down.
This is this aggressive timing that we've talked about earlier. When you go for this early engineering bay, you can really do a lot of damage. But Rain is on top of things with the observers that he has on the map, so he sees what's coming. And with good force fields, he will be able to zone out, especially since he's now immediately warping in units.
And the first Colossus is going to do so much for him here with no Vikings.
Yeah, the attack here should not do too much. With the medivacs, he could get into the main base and hit a drop. But going for a straightforward attack up the ramp shouldn't do a lot.
Yeah, I think that would be a mistake. I mean, look at the observers too. He's got, you know, 3 of them. They spawn everything: the drops, the walk by, and he has it on the high ground, so it won't be spotted by Byun, so he can't scan and kill it.
He's again getting that third base up so much faster because he's in a position where he's pressuring his opponent.
But he goes down the ramp. Byun sees an opportunity, and you know what? He commits here. I'm not sure about this.
Well, he's trying to do damage, and he can always just move back. That's exactly what he does, utilizing those medivacs and doing a bit of damage.
Yeah, you know, he saw that army move down, and it had Rain been a second slower with those forces, he might have lost his Colossus. Byun, I do not think, needs to walk up that ramp again, though. The second Colossus, got to realize, is coming down pretty soon.
This is just Byun once again doing like the soft contain, taking the third base, but this time we have Rain with the earlier Warp Prism trying to get it down to the bottom right. But here comes once again the Prime player. He's moving in.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage here. He knows there was not very much Sentry energy left. He trades very decently here. Remember, this is, again, just like you said, all about that third base.
He has the third base up, and so far the Warp Prism just is close enough to do damage to warping another round of units.
And he has a few reinforcements at his natural he can use to delay the Warp Prism. He does move them out right now, though, as I speak.
Both players are playing exactly the same style they have been using in game number 1. Rain really confident in his ability to make this strategy work, as is Byun. Here comes now the Templar Archive going into charge. He wants to add those High Templars. Has a really good armor upgrade lead now with a +2/+2 already on the way.
Byun this time does not have a second eBay. It's very, very late, so his upgrades are not going to be as crisp as we saw them last game. And here comes that Warp Prism. This is giving Byun, I'm sure, nightmare after what we saw from him in GSTL.
I mean, for now the upgrades are the same, but Rain will get better upgrades very soon. And now here comes this drop play, going into the main base and also trying to drop a few Zealots at the third base. And Byun is forced to retreat.
And whichever base Byun sends units to, he's going to warp in more Zealots. Sends units into the main base, well, Rain does not actually use the Warp Prism again. Could have, though, for sure. Charge not being done really hurts this Warp Prism play a little bit, too, because it takes so long to actually chase down those SCVs.
He might consider to get a single Viking, and there it is. I love it. That's exactly what he should do. One Viking against the Warp Prism that will help you so much. You need something to take down those dropships.
I'm worried about Byun's upgrades because he still doesn't have the second eBay. He doesn't have a Ghost Academy either. So he's going to be facing, this time, High Templar with no answer for them.
Yeah, the economy is a little bit better for Byun as we speak, but Rain is getting this third Nexus, and it's nearly completed. Once again, heading into Storm. And as you said, this time we don't have the Ghosts. It looks like Byun so far hasn't identified what he's up against.
Rain going up to 10 gateways right now.
It's what we usually saw in Wings of Liberty. One Colossus, no range, transition into Ghosts. And that's something that this time Byun, transition into High Templars. And this time, Byun just didn't catch that.
Yeah. Byun, it didn't make Vikings either. It's like he's just going to be relying on a ground army. And now he sees the storms, of course. We'll see a Ghost Academy pop up any second now.
Yeah, and he needs to get the Ghost Academy really soon. He has the economy to pull it off too on 3 bases now. The Warp Prism is gone, of course. That's something that we just saw a second earlier on stream. That is really important here because Rain can't warp in units anymore at the bottom right.
And Byun doesn't have to worry about it anymore either because he's got that Viking in place. 3-3 is coming up here. Byun looks desperate in this game. He's not really getting a whole lot done with his drop play. He's adding more barracks here, but he can't fight the army.
And here come the feedbacks. So he sees them just in time. And once again, Rain doing an excellent job with those observers.
And with these 3-3 upgrades finishing, he can start a 4th base relatively soon because Byun's army is just not strong enough to combat this.
Yeah, he still has a bit of an army supply lead, but that's kind of it. In the last game, he was looking a lot more dominant than he is in this. But still, he has a bit of a lead. He could make that work. His problems are really that Rain has the better upgrades.
Yeah, the upgrades and the storms. He doesn't have the proper tech, so when it comes to Rain's army, if you look at 10 army supply different that Byun has over him, yeah, that's 10 army supply, but a storm is going to take out 10 army supply in seconds.
Here comes another storm. He's just trying to keep those units at bay. And I don't really think that Byun realized how many observers we have on this map.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much he can do about it either unless he brings a Raven with a Viking around.
I jokingly called it a legal map hack in game 1, but that's exactly what it is. He has perfect vision on the map. Every single choke point that Byun could march through, there is an observer. Every single drop angle that we have, there's an observer just waiting for the dropships to appear.
And he's got this scary Zealot army out here, Rain does, that Byun just cannot tangle with that right now. He needs to get his upgrades, he needs to get them caught up. He needs to get those ghosts out, and he is starting to catch up on the upgrades a little bit, but the tech switch into Colossi may give him a problem as well. Finally starting to deal with these observers too.
Yeah. In this scenario, I mean, that's the one thing where you would really love to have a Raven in your composition. Without energy, so they can't get feedback, but the problem, of course, is if you want to catch all these observers with scans, you have to drop like a ton. I mean, how many observers are left? 5, 6?
Right now there are 4.
Still 4 observers left, so even if he sees them immediately, he would have to use these scans. But yeah, for now, he at least killed those in the middle of the map.
I love Byun realizing where he's at right now. You know, he's such a smart player. He's like, all right, well, this is scary. I know I can't. There's nothing I can do about the upgrades. I can't chrono boost. Somebody kill my SCVs to get more ghosts out. So I have to have the better army by far. His army's very clumped right now, and his ghosts are not ready.
34 Zealots are charging in and trying to do damage. We only have a few helmets here, not too many. A lot of damage potential here. Failed Storm hitting the Zealots instead of the Bioforce of the Terran player. And this is just Rain trying to take down Byun's army.
But you know, Byun just has too much. He does a great concave, and he dodges the storms, and Rain is in trouble. He did not hit his storms very well. This actually is going to turn this game around.
Byun is running and there's nothing else left to defend those 3. Colossi 2 are already down. Another storm hits home and Byun is retreating. Both of them still at roughly the same supply, but the better bank for Byun.
Yeah.
The problem is that Rain has 4 bases.
And the production for Rain, just, you could see it there. The next wave of Zealots was way too much for Byun. He had to pull back. A lot of his army supply was in those medevacs. You can see right now, 11 Zealots out for Rain. In the next round of Warp Ends, he's going to get even more. He makes 3 Archons and 2 Colossi started instantly. So Byun, yeah, he's able to reproduce his units fast, but does he have the tech? Does he have enough ghosts? Can he hit those EMPs? Because the army for Rain, without those perfect EMPs or those perfect snipes, is much better.
The last engagement with 34 Zealots just charging in, and Byun only had 2 Hellbats. They are great against Zealots, but not in such a small number. Of course, the Marines with the great damage potential here as well, but now Rain is the one who can just outproduce Byun. And Byun does only have 3 bases. He's now getting the 4th up, but he has to defend against these constant attacks of Rain, who's once again getting into position.
Viking spots the base here. He's also going to spot the additional Colossi walking across the map, which so far Byun does not really have too much of an answer for. He's going to even lose an additional Viking.
Yeah, that Viking was in a very awkward spot. But once again, why was the Viking killed? Because Rain had an observer there. His observer play is exceptional. It's fantastic.
Here we go. This is an awkward position for Byun right now. He's trying to get the EMPs off, but he's feedbacked.
And here comes the rest of Rain's army. The Colossi doing so much damage. This time there are not enough Vikings. They're being taken out immediately. And Byun is dropping in supply.
Perfect storm on those medevacs, and that's it. GG. Rain ties it up 1-1.
And brings it to a game 3.
That was very, very careful play by Rain, and Byun kind of doing the same thing, but this time not as crisp, and it just did not work out like he planned.
For me, really the key point for me in Rain's play is how much of a grasp he has on the map. His grip on the map is excellent. Oh wow, Byun was already angry after game number 1, even though he won. Now he lost the match and he looks furious.
Yeah, that was a rough game.
But coming back into this, his observer play is so awesome. He has observers everywhere on the map. He saw the Vikings, he got into a good position with his army, and it's so much about positioning in the late game when you have a Terran versus Protoss. If the positioning is not good for the Protoss player, his army will just fall apart, and Rain was always able to get his entire army at exactly the spot where he needed to be.
Yeah. Map 3 is Red City. Another bigger map, which is going to frustrate Byun. You know, with Byun's playstyle, he likes to hit these timings very aggressively, not so much focusing on the upgrades, but focusing on his army supply, and just trying to have that overwhelming force that cuts through the Zealots. That one poor storm that hit most of these Zealots, I think, really helped Byun win that fight, but he just didn't have the production. He doesn't have Warfence. He doesn't have that momentum that a Protoss player can have with the forward pylon.
That was definitely the best thing that happened for Byun in that fight when Rain missed the storm and accidentally stormed his Zealots. It was a spot where Byun was just moving back at the same time that Rain used the storm, and then all those Zealots ran into it, and the bio forces weren't even touched the Terran player. But Byun seems really anxious here.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's got to calm himself down and go into game 3 if he wants to get straight into Kodesh. Rain, on the other hand, does not look as affected right now. He's just ready to go.
Big problem for Byun was just that Rain was ahead in economy and completely outproduced the Terran player once the fight was over. There was no forward base for Byun, and he kind of missed its timing a little bit, where he was the dominant force in the game. Now we're heading into game number 3 on Red City, and we're gonna find out which of these two players will advance to Kodesh and who has to go through the up and downs here at the GSL Korea Color Mode.